Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to our live webinar. And I just want to say thank you guys for joining, for your time and for your interest. I just want to remind who we are. My name is Henny Kamel. I'm International Affairs Coordinator at NBCC, and alongside with me, my colleague.
Hi, my name is Lucas Liu. I'm also the International Affairs Coordinator at NBCC. And thank you so much for joining us for this webinar.
Today, agenda for today would be we're just going to review the most common questions from you guys. I love to hear from international students, and I communicate with students every day, and we will overview one of the most common questions from international students, and we will share a few reminders for you, and then we will skip to Q&A session. So any questions that you may have, please type it in question bar, and we will get back to you I would say we spent 30 minutes talking about the questions that we received last week, and another 30 minutes we will dedicate to your live questions. And today we want to start with a reminder for the students. And do you want to remind something, students, Lucas?
Yeah, so in order to reduce the chain of emails that when you are contacting our admissions or international office, please only send an email to one email address, not to copy multiple email address on it. And it's just to reduce the redundancy of the workload, and so we can focus on serving you better. And we do apologize for any delay that is causing. As you can understand, this is the business season, and we're seeing a significant amount of communications coming to us from prospective students and accepted students like yourself. So please make sure that when you are communicating with us, and be patient, and if you can, please only send it to one email address. That'll be the reminder of the day.
Thank you, Lucas. Yes, guys, because I see you message me and you just put in copy like 5-6 people, which is great. But if you send it to me or international inbox, we do experience a little bit delay, and just we appreciate your patience, and we'll definitely get back to you. And today, let's start with one of the common questions from the last week. It's about the processing time. As we talked about this in the past, we do appreciate your interest in study at NBCC, and we receive a high volume of applications. And right now, the application processing times is about 4 weeks. So please wait 4 weeks until our admission office will get back to you, because a lot of students asking me, what is the status of my application, and status of your application will be sent to you via email from our admission office. And if you apply online, our admission office will review your application. If there is something missing or something else needed, they will get back to you. If not, they will send you the letter of acceptance to NBCC. Yep.
Yeah, so for now that we have accepted any application has a completion date by January 5th. So as you can see, like Henny said, we're experiencing quite a bit of delay here, and is because of the volume of application we receive during this period of time. And so for you to understand, your application is only evaluated by admissions office if it is complete. That is may not be the same date that you submit your application when you are submitting online. So when by complete, what we mean here is that your application is filled out, and your application fee, $100 application fee, is paid. And also your official documentation is received by admissions office. So if you are sending it by a courier service, that it might arrive a little bit earlier, then your application is completed a little bit earlier. And if your documentation is still on the way in the mail right now, that means that your application is not completed yet and is not being evaluated by admissions since the necessary document is not here yet. And so any students who have complete their application by January 5th, you should already heard from admissions, and you should either get your acceptance if you meet our requirement and we have a seat available for you. You might receive a waitlist letter from us as well that if your desired program is full, in that case you're still qualified for the admission, but just you are on the wait list to potentially get a spot later on if other students decide to pursue their education anywhere else. And you may also receive a denied letter, which means that you do not meet our admissions requirement for that particular program you applied for. Yeah, so admissions will continue to work, to catch up the speed so we can, reduce the wait time for our admissions process. But for now, and there's a 4 weeks delay due to the amount of application we received.
Thank you, Lucas. And I think another question that I might address it to you. A lot of students are wondering if program is closed or it has a long wait list. For example, our postgraduate program would be full. Is there any possibilities to apply for waitlisted or closed program for students, or if someone already on waitlist, what is the chance to be accepted?
Okay, so that's a great question, and that is one of the very common questions that we get from students. And we do accept some applications onto the waitlist, and just to reduce the students on the waitlist who pays $100 and may not get accepted in the fall for the fall intake, that we close our program when there is a certain number of waitlist students on the program. And so we can focus on the program and still have seats and to increase our efficiency, making that offer to the students who want to go to those programs. And so yes, there's a possibility that you'll end up on the wait list. However, there's no possibility for you to apply for a program already have a wait list. And again, like I said, the reason we closed it is just to make sure that it's fair, that students don't pay $100 and just for nothing, and also same time to increase the admissions efficiency to accept the students into their desired program that still have seats available. So the recommendation we have for you is to look at our seat available for international students on NBCC's website. Keep it in mind there's 2 different pages. One is for international students, one is for Canadian students. So you as the international students, you want to look at the international one. And since today we're addressing this to the students who are accepted already, so we're not going to show you demonstrated that list anymore since you already submitted your application. But if you are thinking about switching a program, you still want to go back to that list and take a look, and am I able to switch it from my current acceptance to another program, since there may not be any seats left.
Thank you. It's great, and it's a very common question. And I just want to share my screen real quick here to show you where you can find the information in regards to seats availability list. Share my screen. I hope you can see it. I know it's if you go to our website nbcc.ca, and if you go to international applicants and you choose seats available, here is the list of all the programs that open. And please take in mind that this list is updated regularly, and some of the program might or might not be available. So if you apply, so as it's indicated on the website, according to our website on January 22nd, this program is still available and you can apply for this program, because many students ask me about what seats available list means. Does it mean that this program already closed or it's still available? No, these programs are still available, and some of the students wondering if they saw that, let's say, administrative professionals close in somewhere, but it shows like that it's open. And the reason for that, because it's open in Fredericton, Moncton, and St. John campus. So as you know, NBCC have 6 campuses across New Brunswick. So if the program is closed, it does not mean that this program is not open in any other campuses. So please check the seats availability, and also pay attention to campuses, because in some campuses this program could be full, in some campuses this program could be open. And also students wondering, okay, I want to apply, and I know that there is some admission requirements in regards to English proficiency test, and it takes time to get their test done, and students wondering, can I apply without English proficiency test and submit it later? Can I be accepted conditionally? And my answer to you, yes, you can apply, and I encourage you to apply as soon as possible, because seats are filling very quickly, and as soon as you apply, you will have time. Let's say if we're talking about fall 2020, you will have time until July 15th to submit your English proficiency test. And all this information you can find at English language requirement at our NBCC website. So here you can find the deadline for your English proficiency test. Here you can see the test that NBCC accept, and one of the tests that I've been asked a lot about, Duolingo English test. This test is online test, and here is requirements for this test. So if because some students couldn't get appointment for IELTS or TOEFL, you can go and try to take online Duolingo test or any other test that you may think of. But we also have language pathway programs. So this gives you the opportunity to study English in Canada, and as soon as you graduate from one of the programs that approved by NBCC, you don't need to submit your English proficiency test, because some students just get back to me and say, if I study English in UNB for 2 weeks, am I qualified? Unfortunately, you're not, because here is a specific programs that you need to complete. Let's say for St. John College UNB, it says EAP program level 5 with minimum score of 85%. So that would be requirement. And McKinsey College successful completion of EAP level 5. So please make sure, because NBCC does not provide any English language program, but we can refer you to one of our partners, and we do accept a certificate from that. Okay, I think you find this information helpful, and payment due dates. A lot of students wondering, is it when we should pay for the school, and what the due dates, and what the best way to pay for the school? If you can address one of them.
Yeah. And so your tuition, and there's a different fees that you will need to pay as an international student when you are applying and accepted and attending to NBCC. Of course, since today's audience is the students who are already accepted, that you already paid your $100 application fee to get to here. And of course, after you're accepted, that you have 30 days to pay for a confirmation fee, which is a $500 confirmation fee, and it is non-refundable. And so to confirm your acceptance and to save your seat for the fall intake. And when you are doing that, there are different payment methods that you can take. And for international students, so using when you are confirming your acceptance online, using a credit card is the recommended way to pay for that $500 confirmation fee. And after you confirm your seat from the college, that there's no requirement for you to pay more, because that's what the confirmation fee is. You don't have to pay for your tuition. You don't have to pay for a percentage of your tuition, and all you needed to pay is your confirmation fee to save your seat for September. And when you're coming, and in April or September, it depends on which intake you're coming for, that your tuition, half of your tuition due is at the beginning of your first semester. The other half of your tuition is at the second semester, beginning of second semester of your study. And keep in mind, I said tuition is half and half. Of course, there's other fees, supplementary fees, for example, your insurance fees, and for example, your technology fees and your student union fees. All those fees most likely will be collected up front at the beginning of your first semester. So, be prepared. Yes, your tuition is a 50-50 split for your first and second semester. However, you most likely will pay more in your first semester and compared to your second, since some other fees requires you to pay for the full year. And for the payment dues, again, that's your confirmation fee is 30 days from the point you are accepted. And if you don't pay for your confirmation fee, most likely you will lose your seat after lose your acceptance after 30 days, and that seat most likely will immediately go into the next student in line. So make sure that you do pay for your confirmation fee in time to save your acceptance. Then for the tuition and the supplementary fees, that it is not due until you arrive on campus. However, I understand some of the students want to, apply through study direct stream, and you can look into the information yourself on IRCC's website, and that they may require for a full year tuition payment as a for the qualification. In that case, for any reason you are required by IRCC to pay for your tuition, we do have our tuition payment method on our website posted as well. The recommended method is using our tuition.
I can just show the students. Sorry for interrupting.
Yep.
I'm just gonna, as Luca's gonna explain you about the tuition, I will show you the payment options so we can see yourself and where to find. So share my screen right now. So it's okay. I can see. So if you go to admission and finances, and you go to international page, tuition and fees, here's everything that Lucas already talked about, the tuition fees, and on the right you can see payment options. Here is the payment options for your applications, right?
Yep.
And here is the options that you can use wherever suitable for you. And here is a confirmation deposit of $500 that Lucas mentioned. It's the only fees that we require to pay students in order to reserve your seats.
Yes.
A lot of students asking me, they're required to pay full. No, we don't. It's up to you.
Don't.
Yeah, and
yes.
It's up to you. And for tuition fee, here is the tuition fee. There is few methods, but we do recommend.
Yes, we do recommend the online using for international students using the Pay My Tuition. And this is a third partner that of NBCC, and to help us to receive and international tuitions, and also provides you a little bit better exchange rate and also a more efficient way to pay for your tuition. You can pay it in any country and from your home country with your home country currency as well. And so you can find more information on our website and look at it and see if this is a way for you to pay, if a preferred way for you to pay it. But we do recommend that if you use this one, and especially when there are students who may not get their study permit to attend NBCC in the fall, and for the tuition refund process, this would be a very easy way for us to be able to use and to refund the tuition as well.
Okay, great. And as Lucas mentioned, Pay My Tuition is really good and convenient way to pay. And also, as you can see from our website, there is video instruction how to make a payment with Pay My Tuition step-by-step PDF file, so you can search and look where it works for you best, and yeah, pay for that. I also want to cover two questions about campus hours and cost of living at New Brunswick, and what we would recommend for you. How much money would you need to budget for your study? So first of all, campus hours usually from 8:30 to 4:30 with 1 hour lunch break. And because a lot of students wondering, can they work during the study? Yes, you can work, but our programs designed that it's from 8:30 to 4:30. It's predetermined courses, so it's not like in university when you can pick up the courses. So it would be predetermined courses. So you need to be from Monday to Friday, in most cases from 8:30 to 4:30, study at NBCC. That's how it works. And in regards of cost of living, we will update some information on our website when we break down the expenses. Let's say if you want to know how much would be cost loan of bread or any fruits, we will post this information on online. But for now, we would recommend you to save around $1,000 Canadian per month, which would include your rent and food and transportation. It's estimated cost depends what you want to do. Some students find to rent a room. Some students they need, let's say, 2-bedroom and stuff. So it depends. We will working on the guide that will guide you and let you understand it on the cost.
Yeah.
And yep, is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah. So depends on what's your situation, and if you are a single student and come in and you want to find a roommate and you know someone who's already attending NBCC, and of course that's a great way to reduce your cost of living because you are renting a place. Rent is the big portion of your cost of living here, and so that's a great way to reduce it, right? Like if you on average were in New Brunswick to rent a 1-bedroom apartment or a studio and that living by yourself, you're looking at an average of $700 or above. And if you are renting a place with some friends with roommates, then you're looking at around only $450 to split the cost with the other roommates. So that's kind of saves a little bit of money for you. And of course, if you are a parent or if you are bringing your entire family to come, then of course the 1-bedroom apartment is not suitable for you anymore. You most likely will need to look at a house, and most likely at least you look at a 2- or 3-bedroom apartment. The cost of living will be increased, and due to what type of rental you are going for. So our recommendation is $1,000, as that is only for one person. Keep it in mind, if you are bringing multiple family members over as well, then that $1,000 is not going to cover. So $1,000 is only a recommendation for a single student when you are coming to Canada to study.
Great. And just because some of the students asking me already in questions about Claire Kelly, and some of you who do not who didn't saw our webinar with Claire. Claire is NBCC immigration advisor at NBCC, so she's responsible for all the questions that in regards to study permit and visas. And I just want to share my screen again with you and to show you where you can find our webinars that we did for students who came here for the fall 2019. So if you go at NBCC International application under resources, you will find our pre-arrival webinars. And during our pre-arrival webinars, we discuss a lot of topics from entry to Canada to housing, so you can watch it. And I hope you find the information in this webinar helpful. And Claire got sick today, and she say hi to everyone. And for students who is wondering how they can reach to if they have any immigration related questions, so there is 2 ways to do it. You can send us a message at our NBCC International Facebook page, or and I will some of our staff will get back to you, or you can send inquiry to Claire at immigration visa help at nbcc.ca. So if you have any questions regarding to immigration, you would need to send it to immigration visa help at NBCC. I will attach it at the description of this video on YouTube channel. And you can, if you have any questions, because by Canadian law, if you're not licensed, if you don't have immigration license, you're not allowed to talk or give any advice on immigration. I see a lot of questions, immigration related questions, guys, and it's not a secret that international education goes along with immigration, but unfortunately it's Claire, it's a little bit out of my expertise, and Claire would be the right person. And Claire, say hi to you. She misses you. She got sick, and she will see you on our next webinar. And I think Lucas has some topics that he wants to cover.
Just to add a little bit more info on what Kenny just talked about, for the pre-arrival webinar on our international page, you can find. Keeping in mind that is that for the past fall intake. So it is a recorded version that we did in July and August of 2019. And some of the majority of the informations are still the same. Some of them might be different. So for this particular intake in the fall coming up in 2020, we will be doing another set of pre-arrival webinars. So as accepted students of NBCC, you will receive the invitation to join us and to look at the lab sessions and submit your lab questions, or follow-up questions for later on. And of course, again, some of the information might change, so you will get that most updated information to prepare yourself to arrive at NBCC by September 2020. And also same time with Claire, that she, today I'm stepping in her position just to help out with the webinar, but she will host this webinar on regular basis and every week. And so when you get the invitation, and if you have any immigration related question today cannot be addressed, please come back to see Claire and Henny again next week. Then you'll be able to submit and address your questions through the lab chat.
Great.
Yeah. We have 3 minutes left before we open up for our live questions, and I just want to address the two things with you. Some of the students applied through agents, and some of the students applied by yourself, directed to NBCC. So for those ones who applied through an agent that in your home country, keep in mind, for your agent to proper represent you, they will need to submit a release information form. This form is to protect your privacy. So we do, as an institution, we do not share your private information with anyone who is not authorized by you, and by you share that information with. So keep it in mind, if you are working with the agent, and if it's an agent that recognize an official partner of NBCC, that they should already ask you to sign the release information form, and so they can get authorized to access to your admissions information properly. And if you haven't done it, please feel free to go back to them and say that you need to fill out that form. And also, same time, if you choose to work with an agent that you don't know whether the agent is a NBCC official partner or not, there's a very easy way for you to find it. It is on our website.
You want me to show it?
Yep.
Yep. I will share the screen so we can see where you can find our agents, the official agents of NBCC.
Exactly. So while Henny is sharing that, I'm just gonna keep letting you know. So try to find go to our website and look at the agent list we provide.
Yep.
And if you look at the international student, and which is
over here.
Yeah.
And you go to agents.
Go to agents. Yeah.
And you ended up on agent,
information for students. So there is a PDF file right here, and that if you open up, that gives you the full list of NBCC official recruitment agent partners. If their name is not on it, or they might have a local name that you may not recognize, try to identify if those agents are who you are working with, officially representing NBCC. So if you can always work with agencies that are not a partner of the NBCC, but those ones are what we recommend. And just since you are already accepted, go back and make sure that those agents are well representing you in a official manner.
Great. Yep. Thank you. And now we're going to jump to your questions. We really love to hear from you guys, and you give us a great ideas. And in the past, we have students who watch this webinar, and during our pre-round webinars, they join to this webinar. So former students share their experience, current students share experience. So I do love to hear from you and your ideas. And now we're going to go to the question. Okay, so the first question: what is the best way to fly over there through Montreal or any?
Okay, I mean, depends on which country you are flying into Canada, and it depends on whether there is a direct flight from your home country to Montreal. Montreal is one of the location does have a direct flight from Montreal to Fredericton, Saint John, and Moncton. And so there are three international airports in New Brunswick, and there's a daily direct flight from those three airports, which I just mentioned: Fredericton, Saint John, and Moncton, going to and from Montreal, Toronto, and most likely Ottawa as well. So again, depends on your home country. If you have a direct flight to Toronto, then don't take another flight from Toronto to Montreal, then come over here. You can, looking for direct flight from Toronto to Fredericton, Saint John, and Moncton. And if you are located in Miramichi campus, there are also the Bathurst airport as well. The flights may not be as frequent, but there is that option. So those kind of information will be covered, at probably the beginning of our pre-departure webinars as well. This information also can be found on our website.
Yep. Thank you. And just from my experience, just look for the prices, and if it's for ticket prices, if it's cheaper flying through Toronto, so there is no need you to fly through Montreal. So just make decision. And another thing that I saw in the past, that some students, let's say if they study in Moncton, but they see that it's cheaper to fly to Fredericton, and they fly to Fredericton, please take in account that traveling from one city to another would cost you more than fly directly to your final destination, because we saw it in the past, because some students, they come to Fredericton because it's cheaper to fly, or maybe it's cheaper to fly to Saint John. I would recommend you to book direct flight to your final destination. Thank you for your question. And at what time classes in Saint John starts? So as I mentioned before, you would expect for majority program classes starts at 8:30 to 4:30 with 1 hour break at lunch, and you would study from Monday to Friday. About clothing, do you think it's better to buy the winter clothing there, or it's better to buy it in your home country? What's your opinion?
I mean, that's really depends. If we're talking about winter clothing, and my personal recommendation would be buy it here.
Okay.
Penny is from Ukraine, and the weather in Ukraine is not as cold as Canada, not as cold as New Brunswick, but
I can
there's
argue
still,
it, but yeah.
there's still some cold climates, and of course they would sell more proper winter clothing in where he's from. For me, that I'm originally from China, and my hometown, gets maybe 5 centimeters of snow for the entire winter, so it's not that cold. So I may not have access to more of a proper winter clothing or gears that needs to be customized for Canadian winter. So I would say buy it here, and also keeping in mind that when you're traveling from overseas to here, you have your luggage allowances, right? So winter gears, especially with the boots and especially with your winter coat, that they take a lot of space in your suitcase. And you want to bring your essentials, and for those things that taking a lot of space that you can buy here. And I would recommend it buying here.
I 100% agree with Lucas because I remember when I packed my luggages, I have to unpack a lot of stuff at the airport because you just overweight and it doesn't, worth it for the investment. Accommodation. Okay, we go into accommodation. Information should stay on campus or rent a flat. So in regards to the accommodation, NBCC does not provide any accommodation. So it would be your responsibility to look for the place to stay. And if I can, if you can go to our NBCC International website, and you can find under housing. So I will share my screen again with you, so you can see where to find. Okay, so now you can see the website, and you can find the information on housing because NBCC does not provide the housing. And my advice for you just to keep looking for the place to stay. And we did pre-arrival webinar specifically for housing. As I mentioned, you can go and see it under our international page under resources, so you can find the information on housing, and we talk in details about what to look for, what kind of house, what housing options available on the market, and all that stuff. So yes, look for the housing where you want to stay. Best recommendation: do not book anything until you saw the place. And yep, is there anything on your mind?
No, like Henny was addressing that housing, we don't have any on-campus housing, and so there's no dormitory or no residence at NBCC except one location, and which is a Fredericton campus. And it is not NBCC's residence nor dormitory. It is because Fredericton campus, NBCC Fredericton campus sits on the same campus with the University of New Brunswick Fredericton and St. Thomas University. So both universities have residence for students, and if there's availability, that I would say reach out to them and see if you can get a dormitory on campus through those two institutions. Which is, we do have agreement with them that our students are allowed to stay at their dormitory if there's availability. And for rest of the campuses, because the majority of our students are from the local area and local community, so we don't have a camp residence, and so you can using the information we provided on our website, which with each campus there's housing guide that you can take a look at and see where you want to rent.
Okay. Yeah, great. And we get another question in regards to email, time for answering to the emails. And as Lucas mentioned it, now we're a little bit delay in responding to emails because we received a high volume of emails, and we receive around 150 emails a day, and we try to do our best, and that is the reason why our international education office come up with the idea to do webinars, so we can make sure that no one left behind, and we can communicate with you live. And it's weekly webinars, so we can meet every week. And if there's any questions that you have, I also do like daily chats on Facebook international page. So if you have any questions, you can address it here or ask here or NBC International Facebook page, or you can send the email if it's more, I would say, admission related, some specific information.
Yeah. Again, just to remind you that please only send it to one email address. Yep. And to reduce that the multiple email that we have to find, spend the time to track, has this been addressed and how this has been addressed. And so to help us to increase our efficiency and to better service you, please only send it to your questions to one email address, and your patience is much appreciated.
Yep, great. And another question is about medical care fees and insurance. Let me just jump to the and share screen with you again. And right now you can find the information about, because a lot of students ask me about the tuition fee. Tuition fee is $9,280 per year, but there is also additional mandatory student fee that you can find on our website, and as you can see, it's over here. So additional application fee of $100. A lot of students also ask me about this $500. This $500, as soon as you pay your confirmation fee, it would be credit towards your tuition. So this money gonna go towards your tuition, and you can see the student union fees. And in regards to the insurance, health insurance, there is two types of insurance. It's Gallivan insurance, and that's the price. It's 132 and per semester, and we do, and also Guardme insurance. And what's the difference between these two insurance? I would encourage you to go and watch our pre-arrival webinar when I invited Guardme representative, and we talked a lot about details, what insurance covers, how to do claims. But in regards to the fees, you can find it on our website under admission and finances, international applicants, and tuition and fees, and all the information outlined here. Anything that you would like to?
Yeah, just to give you a little bit, I'm no insurance expert, but just give you a little bit idea of why there's health Gallivan insurance, then there's why there's a dental insurance, then there's why there's something called a Guardme insurance. Why I'm paying multiple different insurances. It's because in Canada, different insurances covers the different things. The Guardme insurance is emergency-based insurance, which is, let's say if you twisted your ankle, or if you bumped your head, walking down the stairs, and that you needed to go to the hospital, and that is what it's for. But when you go to the hospital and it's your insurance, your Guardme insurance covering you when the doctor prescribes you some medication to go home with, that insurance doesn't cover your prescription, which is the medications that you will need to have to purchase to continue your treatment. And in that case, that's what the health Gallivan is for. That you will need to use that insurance to cover part of your cost when you're purchasing your medication. And then of course there's the dental, that in Canada to go see a dentist is not a cheap visit. So really you want that dentist coverage that if you need to go, let's say fill a cavity, or if you want to get your teeth cleaned, all those things, you want to have your dental coverage as well. So that's why there's the Gallivan is providing you your health, which is for your prescription, and also for your dental coverage, and also then you have your Guardme to cover your emergency Medicare when you go to go see a doctor or go to the hospital. And also one thing that for those who are either nearsighted or farsighted, that you wear glasses or a prescription glasses, whether it's a regular glass or a contact lenses, that your health insurance through Gallivan also helps you cover some of those costs as well. Also your visits to the eye doctor's office as well. So insurance is as that insurance is for the time of need, and hopefully you never need to use your insurance. And for example, I got through a 4-year university here as an international student, and I only used my emergency insurance once. And I did pay for 4 years, but it was very lucky I had insurance coverage when I actually needed that. So be safe and take good care of you, and you may not need to make any claims, but insurance is there to protect you.
Just wanted to show you guys for the if you go to resources and the pre-arrival webinar, you can click and see we had a one webinar specifically for the insurance. You can see all the information, what it covers, how it covers, where to go, and all that stuff. But thank you for your question. And also for the students who come earlier, let's say if you start to study in April, but you're planning to come in March, you would need to purchase pre-arrival insurance from Gartner website. It calls early arrival insurance. So because our insurance, the Gartner insurance covers students when the classes started, and for April, the classes started April 21st, and payment due date is April 24th. So April 21st is the date when you're going to be covered under Gartner NBC insurance. But if you come earlier and say something happened to you, you would need to have early arrival insurance. Because unfortunately, we see situation in the past when students pay for the insurance and they come earlier. Let's say if you start in September and you come in August, you won't be covered by NBC Gartner insurance. You would need to buy early arrival. It's not expensive insurance. You will receive it at discounted rate, and I would advise you to purchase this insurance for sure.
So the next question is asking that are there any part-time jobs available on campus? And yes, there are some part-time jobs on individual campuses, and it depends on which campus it is. And it's very difficult for us to comment that what type of job it is and how many positions there will be. And keeping in mind, on-campus jobs are always available, not just for international students, and also for Canadian students. So the competition can be a little bit tough for you to apply for on-campus position. And of course, as a full-time student and for studying at a designated learning institute as NBCC is, you should qualify for your working off campus. And if you have any specific questions regarding to working off campus and with your study permit and everything, that Claire will be back next week to help you address those questions.
Yeah, because I see questions in regards to the postgraduate work permit. Please, you can attend our next webinar with Claire Kelly. She's immigration advisor, and I will pass this question to her, and we will address it during our next webinar. Do I have to pay the school money as soon as I come? No, you don't have to pay the whole tuition fee. You can pay for the first semester. And if we're talking about the fall, the due date would be September 6th. For April, it's April 24th. That is due date to pay part of your tuition. And we do not require you to pay before you come to Canada. Where can I find the exact tuition fee for the first semester and payment in the West? As I just showed it, you can find it at our NBCC at our website, nbc.ca, under international page.
Yeah, actually, there's another way for you to look at it. So depends on the program you attend, that your tuition fees can be a little bit different. And if you go to this is the overall what we have been showing you is the overall how much you need to pay. And of course, program by program, it can be a little bit different because of different books you need to buy, and also different materials you might need to purchase. For example, if you're going to culinary arts program, you most likely need to buy a chef jacket and a chef's hat. And if you're going to any trades program, you most likely need to buy a toolbox, whether it's first hand or second hand. All those things cost money. So to better prepare our students to understand how much it costs, we have different costs separated out. If you go to our regular programs and the program and courses, and you can see all the full-time program listed here. And keep it in mind, this is not the seat available list. This is all the program we have. So, and let's say, for example, if you are going to construction management, building engineering technology, construction management program, and when you are on this particular page, this information applies to all other programs. It's the same layout with the program information. You can find here apply, or you can find the tuition fees. But what I recommend you to click on is these two links here, not the tuition fee here. So as you can see, you are studying this program at Moncton campus starting September 2020. There's a tuition fees between domestic and international. Since you are an international student, you want to click on the international one. Here it gives you the breakdown, which is also the estimate only, keeping in mind because our tuition might change from year to year, and other fees might change as well. So this is a breakdown for reflects international student costs as applicable. So as you can see, here's the tuition, and it would be in line with what you're seeing on our tuition page. The student government fee, health and dental fee, and insurance would be the same. And but what is different here is your book cost, and your equipment cost, and your clothing cost. So those are all different from program to program. And so you do want to look at this when you are budgeting how much money you want to prepare when you come here to see the full picture. And same with the second year, that they will break down, most of the fees are the same. Then by the end, the cost is only books. Why? Because you have already purchased your equipment and clothing at the beginning of your year of your study. So you do not need to purchase it again. So you only have your book cost. Let's return this back to another program just to show you, demonstrate, the difference. Let's say, let's go to a trades program. Let's say we go to the automotive technology, also a 2-year program. So as you can see, the layout of the program is the same. We have your program title and campus and the starting date. And we go to the tuition on this side and click on the international one. And this is for this particular program. Tuition and fees are same, doesn't matter which program you attend. And the other costs are different. As you can see, with this particular program, you don't need to buy tools, and you only need to pay $300 for your clothing, most likely your safety gears, your helmet, your hard hat boots, and your book cost is a little bit different as well. Going into our second year, it's the same. The book cost is a little bit different, but you don't need to buy your clothing and gears again since you purchased it at the beginning of your study. So this is more of a detailed breakdown of how much it would cost for your program, and depends on which program that you go into.
And so the question is about the exams and assignment, and all the information about exams and assignment will be given you as soon as you arrive to NBCC, and you can watch our pre-arrival webinars when we did it with instructors from NBCC. And our best advice for you, please do not over analyze or over plan. All the information will be given to you, and we understand that moving to new country, it's new educational system. So our instructors will give you time for this adaptation, and they will explain you exactly what you would need to take. The only thing that I can add from my side, if you go to any particular program, you can just show the screen again. You can go and see the program, and for example, if we're talking about automotive technology, you can go down and see the program course description. So it will give you the idea what you're gonna study at NBCC, but please do not overanalyze about the exam and assignment. Our instructor will prepare for you, and they will guide you through everything. But if you're just interested in what kind of courses include in your program, and you can see and find the courses over here. Hello, and just I hope this answers your question. So and a question, another question about the increasing of tuition fees. Do we expect any increasing of tuition fee?
So tuition fees is subject to change. Tuition and any of the supplementary fee are subject to change and through the year, and we are not expecting a significant increase of the international tuition. So for now, the tuition for fall 2020 has not been decided yet, but we are not expecting a significant increase for fall 2020 international tuition.
Okay, thanks. And another question, I believe we covered it. I paid my confirmation fee. Can I pay all the rest when I come here? Yes, definitely you can pay when you arrive, and due date for fall would be September 6th, for April 24th. So you don't have to pay before you come here. How many hours of extra curriculum activities are normally necessary? I think it would be decided when you come here and you talk to the instructor.
Yeah, I mean, Barbara, maybe you can, I know you have already left this, and if you review this video, I would say this is really depends on what program you are in and the type of extracurricular activities that you are interested in. That is, it depends on how busy your schedule is, but also that's also depends on what's the student's interest. So it's a little bit hard for us to comment on that. But when you arrive on campus, that was definitely would be a conversation you might want to have with your instructor or student services team. Next question is that I sent 2 emails, have not heard anything. Again, we apologize for the delay, and that with the overwhelmingly amount of inquiries we're receiving right now, that we are expecting we're experiencing some delay and replying back to you. That's why we wanted to invite our accepted students to this webinar and to address your questions on more a different channel, on more timely base. So you can address your question, we can answer.
Okay, and
so next question.
So the next question is in regards to the evidence of work required in study or to be used. So it's more immigration related question in order of evidence of work requirement. All I know from our previous webinar, if you can watch it on our YouTube, in section 24 of our letter of acceptance, it's already indicated that if work is part of your study or not. In majority of cases it is, so please check in letter of acceptance your option 24 if it says yes, so it would be evidence.
Yep.
And
also we do provide a clear that did prepare a letter from NBCC as our regulated immigration consultant that to send it to IRCC along with your application. So if you do need that letter, and contact Claire, and we will make it visible on our website as well, so you can go download that. So you'll be able to use that letter as a supporting document to apply for your study permit, so you can be covered for your work term as well.
Yep, and I just going to show the screen where you can find the letter. So if you go under again to our website, and if you go admission, finance, and you click visa permits, and then resources and guides. So here is a letter, mandatory work experience at NBCC. So you can attach this letter. Well, I think I'm talking a bit more of my expertise, but from what I heard from Claire on the last webinar, here you can find this letter where it indicates that the work is an essential part of your study, and you can attach this letter with your study application. And please check the section 24 in your letter of acceptance. It should be indicated if it's part of your work, and if you need it, you know where to find the letter. And this letter will be attached to letter of acceptance in the future. Okay, we got a lot of questions, and we almost come to end. Let's cover the last questions. And for someone who wants, if we didn't cover all the questions, I will provide the link to our Facebook page, so you can chat with me because we might not cover all the questions during our live webinar. We do like to hear from you, but let's cover some of the last questions. Evidence of work. I did show the evidence, and okay, so I'm not sure about.
Okay, so I think that this question is asking about how much is for recommended living cost. That would be 1,000 Canadian dollars as we recommend it if you are a single student. So with the question, I think that was what you are asking. Yeah. So next question is
what is the best way accommodation for the first week? In my case, I did Airbnb, and yeah, the first week the advice I can give from myself and what I did as a newcomer to Canada. I'm not saying that the best way, but I just rely on my experience. I did Airbnb, and then I watched a lot of apartments that are available, because in many cases what I found, if you try to book and find accommodation from overseas, landlords might not always respond to you on time, or not willing to give you accommodation because they don't know you. But as soon as you arrive to Canada and you come and see and look at the apartment, would be a little bit different conversations. That's what happens with me, because they asked me to provide references. And I never rent anything because I used to live in my own property. And when I come and talk to landlord and explain situations, they see me and my wife, they let us in without even references. But I'm afraid it would be impossible if I would, inquire this back from my home country. So the best way to come here and see the place and talk to a landlord directly.
Yeah, so, I mean, hotels are always available too, and yeah, there are hotels at each individual campus location that we negotiated a preferred rate for our international students who needs a temporary living. But again, and it can cost some money for you to stay there for a long period of time. So Airbnb could be a good option, and if that's not available, hotel is the other option. Yeah. So we would recommend you do your research and plan ahead and making sure you have your accommodation kind of all sorted out before you arrive, at least as much as possible, to reduce that period of time you have to stay at a temporary place to spend more money there. So the next few questions here is what is the number of students in class in 1-year program, and what is the class one after another with short breaks? So depends on the program you are going to. Some of them are at 16 seats capacity. Some of them are at 20-ish, and the maximum class would be at 30 or 35, I believe. Depends on the program. So this is a lot of a small class environment, so your instructors will be able to pay more attention to you and provide more of a hands-on and the guidance. Yes, you're correct that your class is one after another with a short break, like we talked about at the beginning, that you do get a lunch break during the day as well for an hour, and then you return to class in the afternoon and finish around 4:30. The next one, once I graduate, can I take another course? Yes, you can, and but keep it in mind, you want to apply to that program that you want to continue to take on as early as you can. As soon as you arrive on campus in September, maybe you want to look at, if you have the plan to take another course, maybe look at it right away instead of waiting until around graduation. Then your choices for the next fall's course would be very, very limited. So since you are already here, I would say you can just talk to student recruitment student advisors that at your individual campus and see what would be a better fit with your current education background or working background, and also what you are taking right now, and to plan ahead. since we're running a little bit over time,
Yep.
let's address another 3 questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned before, I did send a link to Facebook International page and all the questions that may remain or we might already cover it during the webinar. If you still have questions, please message me or wait until the next week when you can talk to when you can get back to us and send the questions to Claire and me, and we can address these questions live. So another question. My class starts in April. I wonder if I will have a day to explore campus before the start date. And my answer to you, yes, you will have definitely orientation time. So you will have opportunity to go through the campus to see how it works, and you will be provided with campus tour. So don't worry about this because we accommodate many international students who understand the challenges, and we will give you the time for adaptation. And yes, you will have the time for adaptation and orientation. What is the best affordable shop to buy clothing?
That's really depends, and depends on what type of clothing you're looking for. If you're looking for clothing more related to your program, for example, if you're in a trade program, you need a safety gears. There's a Marks. It's called Marks, and I don't know what's the full name of it.
Yeah, we usually call it Marks.
Yeah, so they sell a lot of safety gears there, and really depends. There's always sales that you can look for. There's a major holidays celebrated in Canada, for example, Thanksgiving. There's always sales happening around those times. There's Christmas, so there's always sales happening around those times as well. And so really depends on where you're at and which campus you're at and what type of clothing you're looking for. Yeah. So
I think that's it for the day.
Yeah. So that would be the last question we're going to cover today. And again, thank you so much for joining us for this live webinar and with your questions. Sorry that we may not be able to address all the great questions that you sent us today.
But you have chance to chat with me, and because daily chats on our Facebook page, and here is the link. I send it again to everyone. If we didn't cover the questions, so we might cover the questions. So please message us on daily chats, and I will refer you to the right person, and we can see you until the next time.
And also, again, that depends on when you join the webinar and how much information you captured through this 1-hour session. That please come back to our future webinars as well.
Yeah.
To gain more information, because some questions you may not think of, and other students are asking. That provides you a great opportunity to capture that information you might need actually before you arrive or even after you arrive. So we definitely encourage you to like our Facebook page and send questions to our international NBCC international page on Facebook as well. So Andy can continue to address your personal questions. Please join us back again and next week, and we will be able to welcome Claire back.
And then just I'm going to put the chapters for this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel, and you will see announcement on our Facebook International page, and I will add chapters, so you don't have to watch the whole webinar, so you can just click to the topics that we discuss and get the answer right away. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your questions. See you next time, and see you in Canada, guys. Bye.
Bye.